All right, you guys, I'll give you a story about one of the times where I had a coworker that would literally try her hardest to trigger me. She wanted a reaction. She taunted and provoked me so much and so bad that she literally became obsessed, but I never fed into it. And this was a few years ago. This was a while back, before I even knew the term narcissist, before I knew the terms reactive abuse, before I knew gaslighting, baiting. I knew none of this. So all I knew is that this woman just would not leave me alone, and she was determined to leave my to make my life a living hell. That's all I knew. But I never reacted. Number one, because I didn't care enough. It was like she was an older woman. She was a few years older than me, but her behavior was so high school. I already went through that. So it was never anything strong enough to move me. Like, it was just dumb. It was childish. But in her mind, she thought she was doing something. But anyway, I'll never forget one day she followed me into the lunchroom, and while I was standing at the counter making my lunch, she was behind me, and she was just making comments about my hair and stuff like that, and just what I was wearing, and or whatever, just little stupid nitpick stuff. And so when I turned around, I swear on everything, I finally had enough, and I was about to literally cuss her out. I was about to give her the business. But when I looked at her, she had something on her, like on her forehead, but it was in her hair. It looked okay. It looked like a roach. It looked like she had a dead roach on her forehead. I laughed so hard. I could not stop laughing. I didn't eat lunch. I couldn't get off the floor. I just couldn't. I could not stop laughing. And this lady, she went back onto the floor, where the cubicles were. And she was so mad. Like, it was like she was telling everybody. I don't know what she was telling everybody. All I know is that she was just mad, just upset. She was mad to the point where you would have thought somebody hit her, physically hit her. So I get back to my desk, and she sent one of her flying monkeys, one of the gang stalkers. She said, "The next time you have something to say, you should just say it." And turned around and walked away, and I'm like, what? I was so confused. And literally, like, a week had gone by of her, the older lady, sending so many different people to make little comments like, "If you so tough, say what you gotta say to my face," and say what you gotta say to her face, and I'm just like, what? Like, I had no idea what was going on until I finally figured it out. She wanted a reaction so bad. But she wanted me to be mad. She wanted anger. She wanted to get me to the point where I would do something or say something that would get me in trouble, that would get me fired, reprimanded. But when I laughed at the dead roach, okay, so listen, it wasn't a dead roach. She was wearing a wig, and I guess I guess a part of the wig, I don't know, but it wasn't a dead roach. Okay. So I realized, like, the moment I really wanted to cuss her out and say something, I realized that that's what she wanted me to do, but I did the exact opposite and pissed her off so bad that she began to ask other coworkers to physically fight me. After about a month or so, she began to ask other coworkers to physically fight me. And she ended up getting herself fired. But I didn't know that literally just laughing, she didn't know what I was laughing at. She didn't know what made me laugh so hard I couldn't get off the floor. She didn't know that. All she knew was that she wanted anger. She wanted me to be frustrated, enraged, triggered. But when I laughed in her face, this woman and her dead roach ended up getting fired. So when I tell you guys that you have to be able to control yourself so much so that you don't get yourself triggered, upset, enraged, frustrated. You can literally laugh in their face. You can do the exact opposite of what they want and still win. I hope this helps.